Hello. I was right. I was right. We were so right.
We were right. We were right.
Welcome back. We are here. Shalom in the home.
Shalom. No, I'm just kidding.
Much shalom in the home this week. A lot of shaloms and a lot of homes at various locations throughout the world. But first, we're going to start off with some levity because Chris is starting a shitstorm, an international shitstorm as always. Let's see what Chris is up to lately. He's not even traveling right now, just causing trouble from Moscow.
We are ready to defend Iran. All of us together around the world, we will defend Iran from any aggression by United States, by Zionists, by other imperialist powers, by other proxy powers, and we stand ready to defend our people, our nation, our leader. Victory to Iran.
I got an avalanche of messages.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I am an Iranian citizen. I'm doing my part. I mean, I'm ready.
Right.
Listen, I'm going to say it here for everyone. First and foremost, people are like, he fought with the Kurds. Yes, against Daesh, you numbnuts. As if I went there to go, like, what did you think I was doing there?
You're an American operative.
I was an American operative now living in Moscow, going to the area of the special military operation.
If you're an American operative, why did the American authorities ask me about you? Shouldn't they already know?
Hello, people. Hello. Never deployed with the U.S. Army, resigned. Come on, hello. You know, people are very interesting. But listen, I'm an Iranian citizen. Most of my family is in Iran. I am saying I will defend Iran. I am ready to defend Iran. And people are like, whoa, what is he doing? Oh, he's an agent. What agent? I'm here. What agent? What do you want me to do? Plus, I just want to make this clear. The real agents are the ones who are secretly working for Mossad in the USA that are within. They're always like, oh, Chris and Jackson and everybody, they go to these countries. Yeah, on official press tours, numbnuts. What do you think? They're taking us to show us a special bunker where they have the bomb? Like, what do you think? Like, we're getting behind the scene access to our, uranium. Here's our uranium. Here's our enriched uranium. Here, take your cell phone and geolocate it. No, like, what are people thinking? Plus, the people who are laying accusations, by the way, they also go to these places. So throw the accusations back at them and say, how do we know it's not you? Yeah, some of them live in those countries or travel even there more often than I do. So I just want to say, I'm happy to defend Iran. I'm happy it caused a shitstorm. I hope we continue to cause a shitstorm, especially for the US and the Zionists and their proxies. And I hope that all of you continue to understand that what we're doing, what we've exposed, by the way, DDG team helped expose Epstein files. There you go. I mean, please. Am I living in the US now in the comfort of my own home in the country that I was born in where I have all my degrees? No. Why? Because that book also has landed me in some serious issues. And I'm working behind the scenes with the team at Congress to help release it to the public. Get ready for the next release of the Epstein files.
That's a really good point, is that like the fact that you were even involved in helping to get a lot of this information out there is so pivotal. And I think that people forget. I don't think that we've talked about it enough. We're not a very loud, we don't really talk about what we do. It's not like we've done this. And like, it's not very like, maybe we need to be more about, especially about stuff like this, because people don't even know you were in touch with the congressional, like you were in touch with the people who were releasing the files, the people who were in charge of the releasing, and you still have the black book in your possession. People don't understand that and how unsafe that actually does make you.
Absolutely. And listen, for me, I was very proud from 2020 to be part of the investigation, to be ongoing behind the scenes. There's going to be a great article coming out very soon. I think we're within a month or so of a big bombshell story coming out that I hope will generate even more hype for stuff I've been doing behind the scenes for 5 years, a little over 5 years. I just want people, like, I don't have a Pulitzer Prize. I don't work for a big name news organization. We here at DD Geopolitics, we do it out of the love of what we do. But I want people to know that we've been right about everything for the most. There's nothing that we have not been. In fact, we've been too soft on some things. We haven't gone full out on telling you all the truth about some of the things that we might, amongst each other say, I think it's going to go this direction. But you know what? This is a vampire ball. There's some sick shit out there. So don't throw it on me. Don't project onto me. I'm living a decent life. I'm an upstanding citizen. I'm trying to do my good works in this world, trying to bring you the truth, as we all are. And when they call out the pedo elite, the Satanists, all this stuff, we're not on that list. We'd have nothing to do with it. So defend Iran, defend Palestine, defend Venezuela, defend Cuba, defend Donbass, defend them all, because they're coming after them. You see, we're going to talk about it. They want to carve everything up for them and their satanic friends. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's the truth. So that's it from me. I love you all. Continue to support our work. Continue to support everything that we do. We're going to continue to bring the truth as much as we can, even if it costs us our careers, our homes, our livelihoods. We're going to continue to do it. It's what's right.
Exactly. And I'm sure you've heard me have my sort of not crash outs, but I had a good monologue myself yesterday about how serious this is. We're going to talk about it. We are not a platform that really is into the salacious, and we don't want to go down the dark rabbit holes. It's too dark. There's enough people doing that. And we're also really not even that focused on Trump. I don't really yes, Trump's involved, but I don't know that Trump was a very high man on this totem pole. This looks very, very sophisticated. And I think Trump is very much a meat puppet, but we'll get into all of that. But to set the tone for it, let's take a look at what Thomas Massie had to say, someone that Chris has also been working with. We'll take a look at what he had to say.
Case. That is wrong. Do not let the Senate muck this bill up. And if you're a party to that in the Senate, you are part of this cover-up that we are trying to expose. I am sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. That is what they have coming. In fact, they need to be on the other side of bars, a lot of them. Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men, in handcuffs being perp-walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up.
And not just perp walked, Mr. Massie, with all due respect. The American people deserve their effing money back. All these people that got rich off of the backs of the international community and the American working class deserve restitution.
Yep.
100% their wealth should be expropriated.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Listen, anyone who went to that island, I'll tell you one thing. I believe in the justice system of DPRK and some other countries like that, and nobody's walking free again, ever. Maybe they get a one-way trip. But I think that it's not good. It's not good. The fact that this stuff is happening is very bad. People have got to go away for a long time. And I agree with Massie. And I think that all their wealth should be expropriated. It belongs to people. Give the survivors a good cut. Let them have the best healthcare, the best everything. They deserve it. Give their families. I want all their kids to go to school for free. And I want their families to be well taken care of. And everything else goes back to the public to rebuild this country that they destroyed. And they got to rebuild a lot of countries that they destroyed, as you'll see.
Yep. And so really quickly before we get into it, and I'll show you this again at the end of the episode, but I do want to show you how to look through these files on your own. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because I'll explain more as we go through it. But I see a lot of people just kind of Googling words or searching up words and then kind of just posting something and saying, oh my God, Old Navy is mentioned in the Epstein files. And you're like, okay, but what does that mean? Or, and this kind of like not connecting it to anything. So I encourage you if you decide to search through these for yourself, please make a note of the date, what the context of what was happening in the world when that was going on, who exactly is sending it, who is CC'd, all of those things, and try to put together a story or at least some sort of something that makes sense instead of just fire hosing your subscribers or anybody with information. These people communicated over decades. there's tons of threads you can just pull, and you'll see them go back on subjects 3 years after the fact. And I think a lot of people are missing a lot of that. And that's why they're getting caught in this sort of like the who's on the list and who's in the files. There's a story that these files very much tell, and it's much darker than just Trump being involved with younger girls. That's like the tippy of the iceberg. And that's why I'm really, and also discouraging the right versus left sort of thing that people are getting in over these files. And again, so we'll talk about it more. But so here, obviously, it's very simple, justice.gov/Epstein. That's it. It'll ask you if you're a robot. You click no, and then you go, and are you 18 years of age or older? That's the only verification. This takes you into the library, and then you get to the search full Epstein library. If you go down into these documents, you will be completely overwhelmed. There is 3 million documents, okay? Coincidentally, there are 6, and this is only 50%, so that means there's 6 million documents. Wild, isn't it? Anyway. It never ends. Anyway, there's so many. So, what I said last night in Spaces was that anything that you're interested in, any niche that you want to like look into, whatever your cause is, you will find something on it in these files. So, for instance, just say I want to search up Zelensky. So you'll see there's a ton of things where they're just sharing articles. You have to go through these and make sure like they're actual messages to one another and stuff like that. This is the thing. I implore you to go through these with a fine-tooth comb. And again, we'll show you more as we continue to talk about them. So let's get started. We're only going to do a little second on America because I think this really kind of bless you. This kind of opens things up quite a bit. So let me read the little bit. This is from an FBI CHS. Now, a CHS is technically an FBI asset. They're held to a very high level of scrutiny, and their testimony is held to a very high regard as it's sworn testimony, but it's held to pretty much the truth. So take a look at some of these. These are about Howard Dershowitz. Again, you can go read this document for yourself on the Gov site. All of these documents we pulled ourselves, so we know they're not altered unless they were by the U.S. government. This is also on our X account. So Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, we will talk about him a lot. The informant learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. For example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner were both his students. Perfect. Okay. Another point. Jeffrey Epstein was represented by Dershowitz. The CHS remembers Dershowitz tell Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney of the Southern District of Florida at the time he was around when Epstein was going to trial, that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and allied intelligence services. The informant shared phone calls between the two, and Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief them. Okay, so that's also important. Ehud Barak and trained under him as well. Like Ehud Barak trained these people to be spies. Then this is the other stuff that this is really important. And I'm reading this in the beginning because this will fold in through our episode. The informant advised Chabad is doing everything they can to co-opt the Trump presidency. Chabad is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all the Russo-Jewish oligarchs. On the day Trump was elected president, Ivanka Trump and Jared were at the gravesite of Rabbi Schneerson, Baruch Hashem, who was the most powerful rabbi in the Chabad network. Jared didn't disclose his stake in the cadre because of his ties to the Russian state. The informant believes that this was the real Russian collusion story. Kushner has moved a lot of assets and Russian investment money around. The FBI should investigate the Kushner family. Chabad routinely uses charities to launder money. The Kushners run a ton of charities. Okay. This guy, Harry Tanois, I'm guessing it's a Nigerian last name, has been involved in developing Trump's hotels, and he is a billionaire. He introduced him to the Indonesian CIA. Harry bought a Beverly Hills home from Trump at an inflated price. You guys can look into that transaction. But what's important about this tab, and the reason why I highlighted it, is the end. The informant advised that this was a real collusion story. And Trump told him that he was going to fuck Amazon over their military contracts. This is important. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his presidency. Okay. So we've got all that. Soak that in a little bit. Understand what all that means. Now, this is an FBI informant. It's up to you whether you hold the FBI and that informant in whatever regard you do, but that's the process for the informants. There's also a third page that, well, we don't need to go into it. Again, that's not going to be part of today's show, but you guys can read it on your own. That is a really damning document, probably one of the most damning. What our producer found as well is, because he knows more about the forum side of the internet, Reddit, 4chan, and that stuff, is the 4chan. So this is important to me. And I was to tell you why. So 4chan in 2011, Boris, and you'll see Boris throughout these emails, he is Bill Gates's assistant, the one who procured the STD medication.
Oh.
Right. So they want to meet. He's talking to Epstein and he wants him to meet with Christopher Poole. He's trying to arrange a meeting. Christopher Poole, as our viewers may know, is Moot from 4chan. Okay. Boris says he will be a friend of ours, and they do meet. Jeffrey drives him home on on October 24th. This is in 2011. When was Poll made? Let's check it out. October 23rd, 2011.
Oh. What?
What do we know about Poll? What was born on Poll, the 4chan? The QAnon movement. Everybody knew that the person, whoever was running that account, at least had some decent level of access or some type of secret clearance. They had it, they said a Q level, which is one of the highest, if not the highest. So Jeffrey Epstein was held as a type 1 asset. That means that this asset has information that could destroy the country. Wouldn't Jeffrey Epstein have access, or at least know some of the information that Q would have been posting?
Epstein is Q.
And I think it's Epstein and Stephen Miller.
Oh my God. Listen. I'm gonna put on the cap here. This is heavy stuff right here. This is heavy stuff. It's literally, this is what we've been talking about the whole time. This strategy of tension. We've now had it exposed here. This is the exposure of the deep state of these assets basically going.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's part of it, right? And MAGA was sort of born out of QAnon as like QAnon light in a way, right? It wasn't too over the top. QAnon was crazy.
Oh yeah.
MAGA was QAnon light. Right? What's the easiest way to deflect away from what you're fucking doing is to tell people that another group of people are doing it and to go look for them. And not only that, but I'm going to save you from them.
Who knew that when we go one, we go all? The one was Jeffrey Epstein, most likely.
So I sit here and I say, we are ran by, and this is such a Zionistic, Kabbalistic thing. We are ran by a cadre, a cabal of pedophiles, and I'm going to help you take them out. We're going to drain the swamp, save the children. And the whole time it's him and his friends. And how smart. And all of these people made him into a messiah. He was going to save us and the children. A false messiah, a false prophet.
That's it. Like Ball.
Whole thing is sick. We also know that Ghislaine, and you guys can go further than that. That's not my end of the internet, but we also know that Ghislaine was a mod and very popular inside of Reddit, in the Reddit poll group. Yeah.
Ghislaine was popular in Reddit?
Yeah, they didn't know who she was. She was an anon. They figured it out later. Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein as well.
That is so nuts.
Yep. So these people were very much steering political discourse, especially in the younger generations. The alt-right is a total op.
Nick Fuentes is an op.
It's a total. Why do you think he's sitting there dressed as Jeffrey Epstein, telling you that he's literally wearing the shirt? You saw it, right?
Yes, I saw. It's insane.
He's sitting there dressed as Jeffrey Epstein, telling you that this stuff is not that bad, and you don't think this is a psyop? We have Andrew Tate, who came out the same day and said, man, I miss human trafficking. Literally said it. They're normalizing it. And we're going to get into that more later, more about the psychology of it. But let's stay on task. So then we have Melania, and I wanted to mention this a little bit because she's not escaping my clutches either.
No.
I have a theory, and I've had a theory about Melania, and you can ask the producer. I believe I told him is that she was a honey trap this whole time.
100%.
It may have been an Epstein girl. I'm not 100% if she was an Epstein girl, but she was definitely a honey trap. So she comes out with this movie this week. It comes out. The movie in and of itself was contracted for $75 million. It cost like $4 or $5 million to make, and she pocketed $30 million. And the thing is flopping. They're like paying people to go see it. Keep in mind, the Epstein files dropped the day of the premiere. The day of the premiere. And of course, she's in them. So I pulled what I thought. I'm not going to be sensationalist. I'm only pulling stuff that I feel is legitimate or lends itself to a story. So guys, call me out if you think I'm being sensationalist or if I'm pulling stuff and my confirmation bias is taking control. But here we go. This is 2002. This is before she even met Trump. She married Trump in 2005. She says, this is her writing to Ghislaine. This is like how a girl, like a little sister writes to a big sister. This is as a woman, I'm telling you, this is a woman who either admires this woman or at minimum wants to be on her good side. So how are you? Nice story about Jeffrey in the New York Mag. And you know that she's familiar with him because everybody familiar with him calls him J.E. in every email. You look great. You look great on the picture. Now, you probably is Melania because the grammar's so poor. You look great on the picture. Okay, that's a very Slavic. You look great in the picture. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in New York. Have a good time. Why is she hanging out with Ghislaine around Palm Beach in 2002?
Love Melania.
Love Melania.
Love.
Right. Okay. But what do we know about Melania's movie and what do we know about the people involved? There he is. There's the director. Who is this director? That's Brett Ratner. Yeah. And what did he do? He was accused of sexual harassment, assault, yucky stuff like that. And what did he do? He ran to Israel to rehabilitate his image, and then he produced the Melania documentary. Just how sick these people are. And Melania had the audacity to write Putin a letter about saving kids.
No, Putin has saved kids from the clutches of Ukrainian Nazis.
And look, we're going to get even more into that.
Oh, yeah. This
is sick.
It's sick shit.
That's enough of the Americans. I don't even want to, I cried last night in a space because I was talking about how embarrassing and humiliating this is. And if you're not embarrassed, I question your morality or your soul or something, because this is humiliating.
We went from a country founded by a bunch of slave owners to a country that today is governed by a different kind of slave owner. I mean, this is some sick, multi-level shit. I don't know. I feel I feel the whole time that they've always been categorizing these other countries, but projecting their own crimes onto these other countries that do not have this crime. None of those other people have done this criminal behavior, this kind of really satanic behavior. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so let's hop over to Europe, because I don't want you to think this is just an American thing. I'm taking these people down too. NATO is finished. Let's start with Norway. This is really crazy. Epstein sort of established himself. This is very Frankist. This is like Jacob Frank 101. Epstein established himself as some sort of weird guru for these royal, especially women, upper class women. Very, very sort of a Rasputin-esque kind of character. But even Rasputin was cooler than Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, that's what I hear. So.
but a very sort of man in the shadows. I'm not supposed to do that.
Oh no! Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Man
Whoa.
in the shadows. Man behind the curtain. Very, very weird with these weird gurus. So here is the princess. She's crown princess of Norway. This is her with the prince. She is a commoner. I'm sorry to talk like this, but this is royal language. They obviously have their own children together. She comes from a very sketchy background, and she is very not disliked by the royal family. I believe that when his father had passed before they married, and his sister came out and said, our father would never approve of this. This is but so, all right. Well, her name is Met, what's her, Met Marit. Yeah, Met Marit. Yeah, that's it. She's beautiful, like most of these Scandinavian women are, but don't let the looks deceive you. She's an evil effing person. Look at this. This is her writing to Jeffrey Epstein. You always make me smile because you tickle my brain. Soon people won't be able to make humans anymore, but I guess that would be La La Land. But we can just design them in a lab. And he had written to her, I hope you are smiling. I know you prefer to live in the land of make-believe.
What?
Okay. All right. Weird eugenics stuff mixed in with you're so like you make me smile.
Who knows, some kinky fetish type shit.
Yeah. So we have more. There's a lot of communications in here. You probably can't see them, but again, they're on the large profile, large count. This is where you can tell she's talking with Boris. They're setting up a way that they can hang out. Boris emails Epstein about having a conversation about Met, and Epstein responds, Met is a mess. Now, I won't get too into it, but there are rumors that she was pregnant with his child.
Wait, whose child?
With Epstein's child.
Are you serious?
Yes. And there's direct emails from her to him saying, you are very charming today. They pick out each other's clothes. He gives her wellness and breathing exercises and emails. That's why I'm saying he's very much this sort of guru Rasputin figure.
Let me ask you, we don't have any confirmation of any of the victims or people that were intimate with him having children, do we?
Mm-mm.
So at this point, there's no DNA analysis that links him to any offspring.
Not that I know of.
Wow.
Also, here you could see they've met many, many times. They've met a lot, she met Jeffrey Epstein many, many times and stayed in his Palm Beach house at least on one occasion for at minimum 4 days.
Wow.
It gets worse. She also asked him for parenting advice in one of these emails. I believe it's this one. You can see it's down in the bottom left, I think. Or no, it's over in the top right. Is it inappropriate for a mother to suggest 2 naked women carrying a surfboard for my 15-year-old son's wallpaper? Why are you asking a sex offender this question? You're muted.
No, I was just like, what?
Oh, you just mouthed it.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like,
speechless. Yeah, this is way after he's had already been convicted of. Yeah, this is way after the first conviction. So we have
no normal parent would do that.
No. Wait, it gets worse. It gets worse. Here they're texting. We are coming over. Jeffrey responds, yeah, great. If you walk towards the other side, and then they meet. She has the kids with her. I'm walking with the kids. The kids met Jeffrey Epstein. They were around Jeffrey Epstein. The royal children were around Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God. Somebody's got to check in on those kids right now.
Oh, no. And this is her son from another baby daddy, her other baby daddy. What's he up to? He's going to trial on Tuesday for raping 4 women, 38 counts.
Oh.
Do you see how dark all of this stuff is? How it actually is seeping out and affecting people in the real world, regular people. He's going around beating women, raping them. He's raised in a home where his mother thinks it's okay to ask a sex offender for wallpaper advice with pornographic images on it. What the fuck is going on?
This is some sick shit.
Insane. She needs to step down immediately.
Step down? She needs to walk into a prison voluntarily before we drag her in there.
That's never going to happen.
Yeesh.
Insane. And I just use that as an example. You could look up any country, and I implore you to do the research because I don't know your political figures. I wouldn't say off the top of my head, let me search, I don't know, Angela Merkel. I wouldn't, I implore you guys to think of all of these. Oh, that guy is shady. Let me look his name up. I really encourage you to do that because it's crazy. And you could piece together stories out of these. Like you can understand what they're talking about. It's wild. Okay, let's talk about Greece. Chris, this is like the stuff that breaks your heart. I cried when I found out about.
I'm ready for another 1 million people to go and Sintagma and burn the whole place down.
Dude, I cried when I found out about the Russia stuff, and we'll talk about that after Greece. So I don't know how you're even dealing with this. I want you to explain to our viewers. This is the email we came across today.
And it says here, so I'm
It's
going to just
Noam Chomsky of all people.
oh, God. And this is the highlighted part. About 90% of the payments to Greece actually go to the German and French banks who made risky investments and want to be paid off. So in effect, Greeks are paying the northern banks for debts that the people never incurred. Now I want people to know that during this time in Greece, I went. That during this time in Greece, I was on the streets. And there's a lot of history about my role in some of the social movements there. But the main thing is this, and this was the slogan at the time, and I wrote a paper with this title. First, they came with the tanks. Then they came with the banks. First tanks, then banks. The German Nazi war machine was unable to defeat the Greek partisans. And even Stalin and Churchill wrote about the heroism of Greeks who were able to defeat the Nazis along with Yugoslav's partisans in the north and able to pretty much bog them down and divide the German war machine so that the full weight of the German war machine wasn't in Operation Barbarossa. But I want you to note this. Even though they were unable to defeat us militarily, they defeated Greece and destroyed our culture by bankrupting the people and driving our people into poverty, into depression, into anxiety, into alcoholism and drug abuse and prostitution for over 20 years. We have been going on with this. It's like 15 years now that we've been dealing with this. And this is a direct result of the economic war unleashed on our people. And I hate it. When Angela Merkel and other leaders came, we flew banners and flags that portrayed her with the Nazi swastika because we said it's no different. Now they've come back they were supposed to pay us reparations. My family lost houses, land, jewelry, everything was stolen by those Nazis when they came, and then was stolen again by the monarcho-fascists. But they came and stole whatever little wealth we had left, knowing full well that was part of the plan. Because Greece had not yet been prepared when it moved into the Eurozone, it wasn't economically prepared to do so. They fudged the numbers because they wanted to completely buy off and liquidate the state. Whatever little state enterprises we had left were sold off. Whatever public land, privatize all the beaches, sell off islands, sell off airports. That's what they did. Sell off seaports. That's what they did. And Greece today, where is Greece today? I want you to think about this. Where is Greece today? Greece has become politically absolutely destroyed to the point that the government is deeply unpopular, has made an alliance with the Zionist regime, with Israel, has become a U.S. buffer state against Russia, against the will of the Greek people who are overwhelmingly pro-Russia and have long-standing ties with the Byzantine history to Russia. Of course, Crimea, great cities in that whole region were Greek for millennia. And now what we have today, we have a government that runs an Orthodox Christian country that says we're against Russia, we support Zionist regime, we're against other countries in the region, we support NATO expansion, and let's open more American military bases. Does it sound to you like somebody had a plan in mind? Sounds to me like it because I knew about it. You only had to be a little bit smart to know that. But think about this. Now Epstein files confirm that even these elite financiers, they knew what was going on. And when we were shouting in the streets, people called us radicals, these Marxists, these communists, these nationalists. What are they saying? We knew. We knew what was happening all along. And now you have evidence from Chomsky with Epstein talking about this, knowing full well what was going on. And they made money off of it too. I guarantee it.
And they bailed out the French and the Germans.
Absolutely. And they'll bail them out again. They'll bail them out again.
Off the backs of the Greeks. So that's why I'm showing you how this is like devastating. This isn't just about whether Trump took a plane to an island. At this point, I care. But at this point, that is such small potatoes. Chris is talking about a protest that was like, they were protesting against nothing. because it was meant to make the Greeks poor. It was meant to make them destitute. It was all not that I'm not saying that Christmas it was in vain, but it was all a psyop. They were doing it on purpose. It's just insane, the things that you find out in these files.
And I want people to know this destroyed our culture. Like people who came to Greece in the 80s and 90s, they were so happy, always dancing. You go to Greece now, everyone is severely depressed. Young people don't have money anymore to have kids. My older cousins are still living at home with their parents. One of them's unmarried. The other one just had a baby in their late 30s. I mean, we're talking about a catastrophe for a population that has existed for 3 millennia. Millennia. And now we are going to have demographic collapse. People are committing suicide. Older people don't even have enough money to buy groceries, never mind medical care and their pills and things they need for medication. And the people don't have a spirit anymore. We don't have kefi. We used to have kefi, which is basically like this kind of joy, this like enthusiasm for life that I still have because, Sarah's been with me on some trips and knows how I'm like, let's go. But it's sad that in Greece, where this was born, where this is like a cultural, like value, it's gone. People don't even invite people to their homes because they can't offer them anything anymore. We don't have enough money for a bottle of wine. We don't have enough money for sweets on the spoon. I mean, it's so sad, but this is the reality. They sold us out. They bankrupted us. They destroyed our culture and our civilization for a few more euros. That's what they did. And they're going to do it to everybody. To everybody.
We're at now. We're back in austerity. Who's going to bail out the Germans and the French now? Nobody's left.
Nobody's left. Who's left?
Who's left to exploit? Nobody. Except Serbia, maybe. Serbia's like, please.
I know.
Who's left? I mean, I just put up the comment from, I think it was Petr, in Bulgaria. 700 villages gone.
Yes.
That means lineages are gone. That means tribes are gone. Families are gone. That means culture is gone.
Absolutely.
All for people like Epstein and his ilk and the people that he was working for. And Chomsky, we'll get to him on another date because he has fucked up so much shit. His meeting with Nasrallah, oh my God, the damage that thing did. Now that we have found out everything in these files, disgusting, despicable, Chomsky, despicable. He was talking about eugenics with Epstein and stuff. Disgusting. Michael Parenti was always better than you. And I said it. I always said it. I said, why would you read manufacturing consent when you could read the OG?
Exactly.
Reality. Like, what are you talking about? It's just crazy. Anyway, inventing reality.
And I just want to say, you're absolutely right. The people in the comments who know this, my village where I come from has houses from Byzantium, like literally Byzantium and then Venice. And early Ottoman stuff. And now they sit empty. You go to the village, there's only a few old people left. Everybody's gone. And it's not like we had a bubonic plague. It's not like we didn't have any catastrophe like that. But the economic war that they unleashed, that destroyed and led to 1 million people leaving, an exodus of people. And this happened in a European Union country. Meanwhile, everybody's bitching and complaining about Venezuela. Oh, the Venezuelans who are leaving. They can provide for their people. Greece can provide for its own people. It's under the thumb of the German and French banks, which are under the thumb of the bigger banks and financiers and moguls like Epstein's crew. I'm telling you, for me, it's enraging. And I hope that this is a moment of rage for people around the world.
And lastly, this is the one that should enrage everyone the most, I would hope. Not that this is more important than anything, but this is the one that blew the whole thing wide open for me. We're not even done searching. This is just what we've found so far and been able to piece together. Okay, so you might have seen the post on Twitter where I said Epstein was in efforts to overthrow Putin with Bill Gates and the LGBTQ movement. The Epstein files reveal. So this is right here. This picture is Ilya Ponomarev. He was a state Duma member who helped organize the 2011-2012 White Ribbon Uprising against Putin. In 2014, he cast the only vote against annexing Crimea. It was 445 to 1. He was the one. In January 2012, Boris, again, Bill Gates's guy, forwarded a request from him to Epstein and asked any idea how to help him. I am talking to a friend who can help Ilya. He is the main opposition to Putin. As such, he has supporters from the LGBT community in Russia. Now, we know LGBT movement is illegal in Russia. It is banned. He says, I discussed it with him. It turns out he is the only Duma representative who voted against LGBT discrimination vote. He knows most of the leadership in that community in Russia and has helped such application for asylum in the US. So he's moving gay Russians to the United States to create a fifth column, I would guess.
And he uses assets, 100%. This is assets. Yeah.
Assets for the United States. The Russian opposition people. Now, mind you, what did I read in the beginning? Somebody said Putin's not controlled by the Jews. They said Trump is controlled. Trump is controlled by Israel. And it said Putin actually controls his Chabad and uses it to subvert the United States. So so now we have this cadre of Zionists and whatever you want to call them, Jews, that are using the Russian opposition to subvert Putin. And you're going to tell me that Putin is in the pocket of Israel?
Please.
We have to do this every week. Well, I'll keep doing it. I don't care, but let's continue. So he says, we should go to Russia soon. We should soon go to Russia and you should meet my friend. He is a member of the Duma and he and his very smart and cute girlfriend are the main organizers of the uprising against Putin. I am afraid of what will happen to him. The stakes are huge. He may replace Putin and become delusional and become a president by himself if he does not get killed before. It's super dangerous. This is from a Russian girl who was working with Epstein. She says, Boris, I just wanted to wonder if something is possible to do in regards to participation in Davos this year. Under these circumstances, it's very important to get to Davos to communicate what is going on so that is not only official Putin voice is heard. Mm-hmm. So they were all working together to subvert Putin, working with the opposition, creating uprisings. This is inside of Russia. Now, what do we know about Ilya after? What did he do after that? He defected, became a Ukrainian citizen, and he did cross-border raids into Belgorod, into Kursk, killing Russians. This is who Epstein worked with. A fascist Nazi that went into Kursk, did a siege on people, killed people, tortured them. Children were trafficked out of there. We'll get to more of that later.
And Politics has been to Kursk twice to report on this from the ground to see the damage, and more stuff's coming out right now. I got a ton of footage and things we're going to discuss on Wednesday as well, some of these issues. But I want everyone to know that not only did they not get Putin became stronger. Russia became more centralized in terms of commanding and controlling these oppositions and fifth columns and expelling them outright, especially after the special military operation. So in Russia, their plans fail. And what else did they go to? They had to resort to open war. They had to resort to open war to try to dislodge and do regime change. Not only economic war, not only the most sanctions in the world, not only this hybrid war, but all-out war to kill, to invade Russian Federation territory. I want people to understand that.
I just want to correct myself on this one. This one at the bottom left. This is actually from Ilya himself. Sorry, I got him confused. There's another email from his girlfriend asking for help as well. This is from him himself, directly to Bill Gates' assistant, Boris.
Yep.
Continuing on in this thread. Here we go. Let's jump into the Maidan. Did Epstein work with a Slovak minister in the Ukraine coup? All right, let me give you guys some background here. This is obviously Jeffrey staying in Kiev. Here he is emailing a Rothschild in 2014. Ukrainian upheaval should provide many opportunities. Many. What would a human trafficker think that the opportunities would be in Ukraine, especially coming out of a war? Crazy, right? Anyway, and a Rothschild, all they think about is money or power, probably children as well, but who knows? So here's all of that. The Epstein files show deep involvement in Ukraine's political trajectory from regime change networks to the country's new president. We showed you guys Epstein's network covering or connecting with the Russian opposition. This guy. So he was talking to Epstein. This is Miroslav Lajcek. He's a former Slovak prime minister. Why is he former? He literally resigned yesterday because of this. He was the former Slovak prime minister, former president of the UN, and the EU's chief negotiator for the Ukraine Association Agreement. This is so important. That is the deal whose rejection by Yanukovych triggered the Maidan. The Epstein files now show Miroslav texting him in June of 2019 about visiting Zelensky this Thursday, weeks after Zelensky took office. Yesterday, he resigned as a national security advisor to the Slovak prime minister. Now, guys, recall the Slovak prime minister was almost assassinated by a Ukrainian fanatic.
Correct. Absolutely. And it has been on the receiving end of threats outright to strip him of power by the European Union and by the NATO bloc because of his opposition to this ongoing war of aggression against Russia.
So check out this down in the bottom left. That's the Rothschild email, the date, March 18th. Just for you Euros and people in the East, we date month, date, then year for some reason in the West. And then in our military, we date day, month, year. So it's very stupid. We should just do it like everybody else does, day, month, year. But regardless, this is March 18th, 2014. That is 4 days after Crimea.
Wow.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, Crimea is Russia. We just have to throw it out there again.
And up in the top left. So this is why I tell you guys, note the dates and what's going on when these emails are being written. The stay at the Hyatt Regency in Kiev in February. Okay. So February, he's meeting with, that's a month before Zelensky wins the election, by the way. A month before Zelensky wins the election. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? So Epstein and Larry Summers, this next is Epstein and Larry Summers, who we all know is now the disgraced whatever he was, dean of Harvard, president of Harvard. They were texting about Zelensky. This is 2 weeks after Zelensky won the elections. This is May 6th, 2019. Zelensky had just won. He wasn't inaugurated yet. Epstein says Zelensky is looking for help. And he says Putin is dismissive of him, saying he is ran by Israelis. So not only now we have Putin uses his Chabad to subvert the United States, and he's in control of them, right? Trump is actually co-opted by Israel. Putin doesn't. We have Epstein working with the opposition to subvert Putin, or Epstein, and now we have Putin saying, "I don't even want to deal with Zelensky. He's controlled by Israelis." And I got to fight with people every day that Putin's not a Jew.
Do you remember the video? Do you remember the video when I think it was Putin who walks in and walks by Netanyahu and they don't shake hands? That's exactly, this is the moment. This is the moment, people. This is where you get to like look in the past and be like, oh, wow.
What do you think, Putin? Remember Putin's speech about the man in the black suits?
Yeah.
He meant to say little hats, but he wasn't going to say that. Come on, you know what he meant to say. That's exactly what he said. And people need to observe Putin's actions, because Putin is he's a very symbolic person. You have to understand how he says things. That's why people might have seen me get into it with Bricks News. I was like, if you don't understand how to translate Russian, stop doing it. Because he was saying like Putin wants to join the Board of Peace. And I'm like, you don't even understand what he said. You don't understand the tone of his voice when he said it. Like, just don't bother. Like, so the day of the Board of Peace stuff, Putin purposefully met with the Palestinian Authority. Yes, it's not ideal. We don't really love the Palestinian Authority. He cannot meet with Hamas or the PFLP. Okay, that's out of the question. But he did that on purpose, symbolically. He said, you're going to go meet in Davos and talk about these people's future. And we already told you we won't join because they're not on the board. I'm going to meet with them. Mm-hmm. That was a message. And that's how people need to start waking up and understanding what we're actually up against. When Dugin in all of his maniacal glory says, this is a war against Satanism. And when Putin kind of echoes those words, or other commentators echo those words, they're not kidding. Nazism is true. Yes, that's not what that's the easy word that they just throw out there. They don't want to say we're actually going in there to clean out all this disgusting corruption that is harming people, abusing children. These people are Satanists. And we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. We'll give you a little preview at the end of the episode. We'll let Chris give you a little teaser.
I just want to have a shout out now to my very dear friend Sergei Nikolaevich Baburin, who was just awarded the highest award from the state of Palestine here in Moscow, and he's part of the sort of like monarchist movement, but allied with the communists, and he believes in like a union of like Christians and Muslims. Very interesting. Very interesting. He supports.
Did you hear me ranting about the Catholic Shia alliance?
By the way, I just want you to think, Baburin loves the history of like Imperial Russia. Also, very hardcore supporter of many things the Soviets did.
But see, that's Russians. Russians will have a Godfalon, an empire flag, and the victory banner in their room. And you're like, that's how it should be. You should embrace all of your history. It made you what you are.
Absolutely. Listen, he's great. And he's like the only foreigner to have like the highest award from Ayatollah Khamenei in Iran. Our guy. So I just want to shout out to him because we love the work he's doing.
Yeah,
we love it. He's standing up for Palestine and standing up for the unity of Muslims and Christians in the Holy Land against an outside force that seeks to impose their will and commit genocide against all of them.
Perfect. So also I want to make a notation of who's involved in that. It was Larry Summers, who's the former U.S. Treasury Secretary under Clinton, former director of National Economic Council under Obama, casually offering to discuss with Jeffrey Epstein, Ukraine. Why? We don't know. Why does Zelensky need to be involved with Larry Summers? Viktor Pinchuk is a Ukrainian oligarch who created a prominent pro-Western forum to promote Ukraine's integration with the EU and hosted high-profile international political and business figures. And Natalie Yaresko is an American-born economist appointed as Ukraine's finance minister after the 2014 coup. She negotiated Ukraine's sovereign debt restructuring and led major IMF-backed financial programs during her term. A convicted sex trafficker, the former Treasury Secretary, discussing how to advise Ukraine's incoming president. 1 month later, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. We know how that went.
Oh, yeah, we do.
So, and then lastly, and again, because I want to say that don't forget about this. This is a text message that our producer found searching through. He's going back and forth with a girl in Donbass, trying to make her into an intelligence asset, telling her there's huge amounts of money will be made. Huge. I'd like to see you as a female oligarch.
Oh.
I want you to start reading about politics in Ukraine, Zelensky, corruption, parliament, start to follow it. I understand you want to be successful for many reasons, and I mean very successful. It will take time and hard work, but I know you can do it. It's possible that I am back in New York next Saturday for the day, or otherwise Palm Beach. You say Donetsk region? What city? I want 2 to 3 hours of face-to-face sometime before August. He was recruiting women and making them into honey traps and intelligence assets in Ukraine. Specifically asking her to spy on Zelensky and his cohort.
This just makes me just say, Putin, take it all.
That's what I literally messaged Boru, and I said, he should just nuke Kiev. I don't even care. Nuke it.
Listen, we're going for it all at this point.
I want you guys to now take a step back and digest all of this. You know that now we talked about, also Bitcoin is an op. Somebody asked me to cover that. I can't because I am crypto stupid. I'm regular money stupid. So I got to learn that before I try to learn the fake. Well, the abnormal. They're all the money's fake, but I got to learn the first one first, and then I can learn the beep boop money, right? But I can't cover it. But there is evidence in there that Bitcoin is also an op. But now we know that QAnon's an op. MAGA's an op. Poll is an op on 4chan. Poll, MAGA, and QAnon have completely shaped the right wing in America. They are the right wing. The entirety of we already knew the left, the Democrats were an op. So don't think that this is defending them or saying let's move to the other side. No. But now we know that the entire movement was not. I told you guys in spaces so many times. I remember saying, I'm scared to say it, but I'll say it anyway. I think Trump was a creation of Bibi Netanyahu, the Kushners, and Epstein. I couldn't be more certain of it now.
People went nuts. People went crazy. They went after you.
Yep.
And then and look what they resort to doxing you. They resort to talking about your personal life because they didn't have any evidence to back up their claims. Just the good feelings that, oh, Trump's the man and we're going to do it. Right. But you knew. You helped to raise that alarm from a long time ago. Right.
It's Jared.
We helped to show over the years through our own work what was going on, what was in the pipeline, what these connections were. I've been saying since 2020 that the network of Epstein holds the key to a lot of what we see in the United States, that this is a state within a state. And people said, what did they say to me? Conspiracy theorists.
Yep.
They tried to strip me of my positions. People tried to say I was somehow kooky and I wasn't allowed to teach students because I wasn't at the caliber of somebody who reads the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Atlantic.
We read that too.
Yeah, of course. We read it because we need to know what the enemy says too. We need to understand. We need to read between the lines. You know, anonymous source said.
Yeah. High-ranking official that must not be named.
You know, but no, it really bothers me because it costs some of us our careers.
Everything.
It costs some of us everything.
It costs me my kid. When people go online and they say, I lost my child because I'm a drunk. No, that's not what happened. And I'll be completely frank. And I don't talk about this stuff because I don't really think that pity parties do a lot of service. And I don't want to be somebody's martyr. I'm not looking for martyrship. But the reason why I went to court and lost custody of my daughter and lost the rights to see her in 2023 is because of what the media printed. The media printed that I was going to kidnap her, change my name, and run away to Russia. Of course, my ex panicked and said, well, shit, I would have panicked too. And he filed immediately. And that's exactly what happened. So to sit here and say that like this is all of my own doing or anything like that, this is why it's so, I don't even want to say cathartic because I'm not happy. I'm a little bit relieved, but this is all part of that.
Absolutely.
I look back now and I'm like, the whole thing, you guys had the FBI at my door. And here we're finding out that I was right the whole time.
Yep.
Selling cat printing stuff about us, you getting put on death list, people talking about your kids.
Yep. And then it's sick shit, really. And even a lot of the people online, they might even be bots, they might be agents, they might be sitting in an IDF bunker, project, whatever it is, 7,000, 8,000, 88. Who the hell knows what the hell's going on out there? I have no idea. I don't. But what I do know is what I've discovered and what we have discovered collectively, which is snippets of the truth. I was a big fan of the X-Files growing up because I knew deep down, when 9/11 happened and all of a sudden people went from being my friend to seeing me as an Iranian American, with Muslim family and somehow terrorists and this and that. And I said, how quickly they changed. They just were playing with me on the playground and now nobody wanted to play with me. Nobody wanted to even touch me. Nobody wanted to like hang out with me or go play football or tackle me or cops and robbers, right? And that's when I realized how powerful the system is to create enemies where there are none, to protect the real enemies who are already in the seats of power, right? And so, when we started to investigate and I started to think about it as a kid, then the Iraq War, and we knew what was happening. All the psyops, all the regime change, Libya, Syria, as if we're stupid. We knew what was going on, but we also tried to effect change in our own way, in our own capacity. And I think that people don't understand that they're too stuck to think about what we also tried to do in our own ways. And I think now, looking back, even the biggest anti-war movement couldn't stop the war. Even the biggest outrage. Listen, with all of this stuff the public is so desensitized. Is anyone going to go to prison from this?
No.
Is anyone going to go to prison? Is anyone going to be held accountable? We're talking about lives destroyed, young women, innocent children. I mean, I'm a parent, you're a parent. This is some sick satanic shit, you know? And we don't even have a justice system. You know, we say nobody's above the law. This is the law of the land. That's somehow the rule of law. What rule of law? This is a rule of the jungle. This is a rule of the powerful and the elite who make the rules themselves to protect themselves. Right? So I just want people to understand that this work that many of us are doing, not only us, many people out there who are doing selflessly, who are doing it at great personal risk, sacrifice. We do it, and we will take all the heat, and I'll get put on Mirodvorets, and I'll get put on this, and I'll get put on that, and people send death threats. People have sent the most death threats in the past month and a half, 2 months I've ever received.
Oh, you're dealing with the monarchists. That's why they're crazy. They're worse than the Zionists. They're more verbally violent than the Zionists.
Oh my God, these monarchists have said the most horrific things
about, scary.
Not only about me. Listen, you want to come after me? I'm ready. I am like Fidel. I'll open the chest. I don't need. Come, let's go. But to talk about my kids, to talk about my loved ones, to talk about people in my family and friends, no, you can't touch them. They have nothing to do with this. So, but that's how sick and depraved they are. They go after family. They go after relatives. They want to kill. I want to kill everybody. And they say the most disturbing things, which actually confirms what the disturbing things in those documents that were released, they say. Similar stuff. I was horrified when I saw some similar language. And I said, hey, what the hell? Who's messaging me? Random accounts with the same sort of sick, twisted fantasies that they want to do. I don't know, but it's not gonna get me down. I know it doesn't get you down. It might, we might feel anxious and angry and upset for the moment, but we continue the work because it's necessary work. And everybody's and I know that not everybody has the same threshold to process this information, but this information is very important and serious, and we got to get it out. We have a duty to you all to get it out to you as best we can.
I hate to toot our own horns, but I do think that that's true. When you have, and I'm talking to everybody in the chat too, when you have intelligence or some sort of asset or talent, it's our duty to continue to utilize that talent to try to bring about the greater good. And it sucks. And I understand that we're so desensitized to it, which is not a blessing. That's not something to be excited over. But I would rather be desensitized to it and then get the information out there and continue to do this for next to nothing, for very little glory and definitely no money. And so, because that's what we have to do. People are saying, and then, people, it was going to come down to it, identify yourself or put all of your shit online so we can protect kids. No. We protect us.
Yep.
We protect us. And it's time to start protecting us. Time to forget about what is in this for me? Time to start thinking about the common good.
Yep.
Starting to think about everybody's kids. Because they're all of our kids. They belong to all of us. It takes a village. It's going to take all of us to stop this. And what is their response to this? This is all Trump has said.
What did you think of the latest release of Epstein files? And do you think your critics will be satisfied with this release?
It looked like this guy Wolf, who's a writer, was conspiring with Epstein to do harm to me. And I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some very important people that not only does it absolve me, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left, that Wolf was a third-rate writer, was conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to hurt me, politically or otherwise, and that came through loud and clear. So we'll probably sue Wolf on that.
Did you speak, or did you have any knowledge?
Maybe the Epstein estate, I guess. I don't know, but we're going to certainly sue Wolf.
Want to sue the Epstein estate?
You may, I guess so, because he was conspiring with Wolf to do harm to me politically. That's not a friend.
Donald Trump is suing a hoax. So that's good. Number one. Number two, all that these pieces of shit will do is sue each other. Nobody cares about how they hurt regular people like you and I. So all he cares about is, look at what they did to hurt me. Look at what these people were colluding. They were conspiring to hurt me politically. Bitch, they put you in the position you're even in. You wouldn't be president if it weren't for the likes of Epstein and Kushner and Bibi. So let's pump the brakes on that. But it's all about me. It's not about the victims. And I'm going to sue Michael Wolff because Epstein's dead. I can't sue him or his estate. I'm going to sue Michael Wolff. But the icing on this shit cake is that Michael Wolff is actually already suing Melania. And Melania, the reason why he's suing Melania is because Melania threatened to sue him. So that's all these freaking people do. It's the most Jewish stuff I've ever seen. They just sue each other.
But you know, Trump
That's
even mentioned,
that's how they hold each other accountable.
listen, one question I want to raise that Trump raised now. Who controls the Epstein estate, number one? Number two, how much money is left and who gets that money? And does Trump also want a piece of the action? Like, are people going to now use this as an opportunity to get some piece of the action? There's a lot of money out there. There's got to be hundreds of millions of dollars. Property, yachts.
578 million of it was willed to Bill Gates' assistant. So it probably belongs to the Microsoft or that whole conglomeration.
I'm sorry, people, you'll never use Word and Excel the same way again.
No. And let's talk about that before we close. Okay. Quickly, I want to throw out some theories about why we think these were released in the way that they were released, etc. So the number one theory that I said off the bat, my knee-jerk theory was this is a trickle effect. It's an escalation on the blackmail ladder saying, here's a little bit more, and it's going to get worse if you don't start bombing Iran. Now I'm not entirely married to that because they didn't start bombing Iran. I really thought that I was like, they're going to start like now. It's going to happen like immediately. We have all the assets there, but it didn't start. I might not be married to that theory because now Bibi is coming to visit next month. This motherfucker comes more often than a menstrual cycle. It's literally every month. It's literally like he comes on his laundry days. It's like once a week at this point. It's like, it's insane. But anyway, so he's coming back and I'm like, well, why would he come? Maybe he's coming back to say, I'll start releasing the videos if you don't start bombing Iran, but I don't know. So that's one theory. Then we had another theory come forth, which wasn't mine. And I say, maybe there's a whistleblower inside of the DOJ. It could be anybody. Okay, well, let's explore that for a minute. Maybe it's a lay person. We have to ask ourselves, who has access to the files? Who has access to the back end of the DOJ website to even upload them? This administration is a mess, so I would imagine a ton of people have access to the back end. But who has access to the files to upload them in that condition? I don't really know. Did Pam Bondi do it to pressure him? I don't know. Well, that's another theory. Someone inside the DOJ or the military did it. Another person said they're releasing stuff that's really not that criminalizing or criminalizing. They're releasing stuff that about people we don't really care entirely about. Stuff about Trump isn't very incriminating. It's in there. People are just kind of grossed out. It's sort of like, are they incrementally ratcheting us up to accept even the worst of the worst in here? So when they do finally have to reveal it because they have no choice, are we like, well, we already knew this. You guys knew this. So there's that theory. And then there's the last, and this is probably the worst theory, is they revealed it on purpose to show us that they don't give a shit that we know what they do to us. So I wanted to know maybe the viewers as well. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm thinking to myself, we are so desensitized, number one, and that's just a fact. We are really desensitized. If you think about, if we really put our heads together, and if we think about an organic whole that operates at the level of political, social, economic power, but also media power, then we're desensitized with crazy movies, crazy shows that involve a lot of this kind of violence. We've televised wars since Vietnam, but seriously 24-hour coverage since the first Gulf War. People are so desensitized. People have seen footage of beheadings, burnings, bombings, natural disasters, you name it, that maybe they're trying to normalize it. Maybe it's already been normalized.
Well, that's why I'm saying you have a streamer sitting there dressed as Jeffrey Epstein telling you this stuff is cool. This is very normalizing.
It's so, and listen, it's not only cool, he's making money off of it.
Right. I was just using him as an example. There's a lot of it going around. It's just he's a great one because he's literally LARPing as the guy. But yeah.
Absolutely. I do think that there's a level of pressure here, but that's like on another kind of level, because I think that there are factions of the state and deep state that are always, I think that there's not a unity. There's always a tug and pull. And I think that's why they have to use these kinds of methods to control people, to push people away, to bring people in, to assassinate people, to, groom them, you name it. But also, they're untouchable. Think about this. Listen, the Zionist regime committed a genocide where the numbers have far exceeded whatever was said originally.
These pieces of shit, I lost my mind.
There could be 500,000 people dead. A quarter of the population of Gaza could be dead. We don't even know the exact numbers yet. We can't even get people in there for proper statistics. People are saying entire places are gone, with entire 70, 80 people per family just disappeared. And nobody has held that regime accountable. Not only that, they continue to expand. They continue to be militarily aggressive. They're welcome to Washington with red carpet and roses, and everybody's like, oh my God, the chosen people. Oh wow, who's going to be afraid of this? Meanwhile, all the criminals flee to that country, that so-called country. Think about that. It's just, for me, if we're going to have a call to action, what does that call to action mean? I mean, if we're really going to drain the swamp, destroy the deep state, it requires complete and fundamental systemic change. What that looks like, how people do that, I have my own ideas, but I'm not going to posit them on here. But each of you has to really think about that at this point.
Well, let's talk about it for a second before we sign off. Again, this is why I showed you guys how to search this thing. And I just use Zelensky but I mean, seriously, find a topic. This is like terabyte of information. There are 3 million items. There is no way, and a lot of them are duplicates. A lot of them are erroneous articles. There's no way you can even start to comb through them one by one. I only know one person doing that, and she is an autistic genius. And Destiny, she's doing it one by one. But what I have been doing and what I've been finding the most useful is finding a topic and researching that specific topic in the context of the Epstein files. International watchers, please, I implore you to research your own politicians, your own elites, and start making this stuff known. This is international. The government of Australia is implicated. We just talked about Norway. That royal family may fall apart. This is the type of information. Americans might not be able to free themselves because of how far gone this stuff is, but people in Europe, you still have power to do stuff. Start boycotting United States stuff. Start uninstalling Microsoft. Don't use it for things. Do things like that. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm not an activist. I don't have an activist mind, but my way is to get information out there and then allow people to do what the activists to do the things with that information. So I'm just spitballing what we could do. But I'm thinking about how we reacted to Israel. How did we try ourselves to hold Israel accountable? The United States is Israel, guys. It's over. It's one government. It's an umbrella organization. It's an umbrella company, literally. It's the World Jewish Congress. Like, just for an instance, we didn't talk about it today. The guy that Trump bullied the Fed chair out of office, Jerome Powell, and now he's assigning this young guy, Kevin Warsh. He's the son-in-law of the president of the World Jewish Congress, the man, Ron Lauder, who wrote the plan for Greenland, and we're trying to buy Greenland for. That's how this is working. This is all in the Epstein files. He was on Epstein's island, staying in his properties. Now he's going to be our Fed chair. It might be too late for the Americans. I don't know. I hope not. But I know for certain it is not too late for a lot of you Europeans. You can do stuff with this. Look at the Slovakian government. They're resigning. That means that the Kosovo's in there. You can go and you can look for Kosovo. Yes, I was going to mention that as well. Kosovo is in there, and they're talking about kids. But yes, look at Slovakia. So now we know that the advisor, or at least for a sense that FISA was not willing to protect him. So these are the things that we need to put out there, I think. Get these people to resign in shame. In ancient times, what was the way that people were disciplined? They were exiled from the community. These people need to be exiled from community. They need to be ostracized, named, shamed, and ostracized. They're never going to go to prison. It's up to us to decide what the punishment is.
My favorite Chinese character was like the character for Exit, which is mountain, which is like a shan on top of a shan. It's like mountain, like a mountain on top of a mountain. And it basically meant for exile. Like that was the original purpose of the character, which like the mountains beyond, like they need to go to the mountains beyond the mountains. Like we got to just send them out. And I was like, yes, that's what we got to do. We got to send them out.
I know somebody that literally is making a flyer out of the Melania information and just standing in front of a theater and handing out the flyers. Do you guys know how dumb that sounds, but how impactful that will be when he hands that to people who are going to that movie and he says, look at this. Not only is this woman probably a mail order bride or some sort of trafficking victim, but the fucking director himself that you're giving your money to is a sex assault is a sexual predator that fled to Israel. That's so effective. It's stuff like that. It's the dumbest thing you could think of. I wouldn't have thought of it. I'm not saying dumb in the sense that he shouldn't do it. I'm saying dumb in the sense that I would have never thought of that. It's so like ground level and so smart. Like it's so like stuff like that. Talk to your families, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. I tell my nail tech all the time. I just say dumb shit when I'm getting my nails done. These Zionists are out of control. And she'll say, what do you mean? And then I'll just talk about it. So anything like that.
Yep.
Anything. It's very, very important. But that's my call to action. And I think that's all I have at this point.
I echo it for sure. And I just think that I'm happy that we've created this community and this following. I'm happy that we have a media channel as big as we do that has made an impact. Don't forget DD Geopolitics, Marjorie Taylor Greene, other phenomenal people around the world have used our resources. Continue to follow us, continue to use our resources, continue to kind of spread this far and wide. And just listen, now in the digital age, all of you don't have to work for the New York Times. You don't have to work for mainstream media. You don't even have to work for a major independent blog. Every individual with a laptop and internet has tremendous power, or your cell phone. You have tremendous power to investigate, because I can't sit there and go through millions of documents. Sarah can't do that. A lot of people can't do that. AI possibly can't even do some of the things that we want to do. You have the capabilities. I stumbled upon the Epstein book in 2020 while I was searching for the first one. I uncovered the second one. It was just that. I mean, some of these things just happen. So just open yourselves up and continue to do research. Just use your minds, use your creativity, use your inquisitive attitude. That's what we want. We want DDG people to be critical thinkers, to be inquisitive. We always talk about the importance of having an open mind. That's the whole purpose, is to give you narratives that don't fit the mainstream narrative, to show you the truth behind the mainstream narrative, to show you the truth behind the crimes of empire. That's what we're here to do.
Let's do our super chats. You guys have been so ridiculously awesome today. And when I think, if I think of it, or if you guys want me to later on, maybe we'll do, because I know Trillion's opening an after space. Maybe I'll show you guys, we'll do like an R&D on a topic, and I'll show how we sort of pull information together and then figure out the narrative behind it. So maybe we'll do that. But super chats. Joseph, thank you so much for being a member. That little emblem next to his name is him being a member. Guys, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. I think it's like $5 or $10 a month. I don't know, but that's a great way to contribute. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you guys listening and being really supportive of all the information we're putting out. Thank you, Mark, Dwayne. Yes. It's great job, Didi. It's in the name. Yes, we have a Didi club, me, Didi, and the other Didi. And there's a Didi cubed, the three Didi. And you are not an agent. You're the high bailiff.
That's right.
Sarah, do you or Chris have more information about Venezuela? Delcy Rodriguez apparently opened up the country's oil for foreign investors. That seems like Trump reached what he originally wanted. I'll just say that I don't think Delcy wants to die. She's no good to us dead, but I'll let Chris take that.
I think that's true. I think there's a lot of different theories going around. I don't necessarily have information on any of them. I was invited to go recently to Venezuela. I don't know if I'll end up being able to go because of some other trips that we have planned. But I will say that situation in Venezuela is a tough one. A lot of internal stuff going on. And of course, the U.S. is putting tremendous pressure basically with not only a gun to her head, with a nuclear armed, and capable military force and an armada still in the Caribbean. So I think that people have to understand that Venezuela is in a very, very, very tough situation. And if they go to war with the U.S. or if the U.S. Unleashes war against them, it's going to be deeply destabilizing. And I don't think Delcy wants to go down in history as the person who, brought the Americans in on ships and tanks. So I think that that's why this is happening. But we'll see what ends up. Also, listen, it's a waiting game too. They also have strategic patience. They know Trump is out in 3 years. Maybe the next president, who might be a Democrat, might be more interested with going to war with Russia again than, for example, dealing with Venezuela. So we'll end up seeing what that looks like.
Keep up the good work. You guys keep up the good work. You guys do work too. So thank you. Thank you guys for being here. This was our largest viewing ever on YouTube Live. Thanks so much for watching, and we will keep up the good work. Speaking of darkness, even in darkness, the high bailiff is high spirits. It's literal as well as metaphorical. In power outages, Chris stops everything and starts dancing and singing no matter what location we're in. So literally, even in darkness, Chris is in high spirits. The light goes off and everything powers down. So to hear Chris going, hey, dad, hey, dad.
I'm ready.
What's the interest rate in Russia? What is the interest rate in Russia, Chris? I don't know economics. I
don't know, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad at this point.
Went to Chris.
Hey, Masha!
Chris making friends throughout the world. Thank you for the big super chat. I am so thankful for your hard work and long hours reading, and that's the whole team. And so, yeah, thanks, and big thanks to the producer. He's been finding so much stuff in there as well. Cross-referencing for the skill and disseminating and always engaging in often hilarious fashion. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Shout out. Masha is my colleague who I go with on the trips. So she's watching our stream now. So she's the one that I go with to Kursk. So just a big shout out to her for watching this late in the night here in Russia.
Sing us a song. You're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight.
Thank you so much for all the love.
March 30th, the Trump campaign, the nation. Okay, I'll look it up. Thank you very much. She's always giving me great little tidbits. All of our children deserve a safe. Absolutely. The village is the world now because of how interconnected we are. And so it takes a village. So the village is now the world. That's yes, true. Finally, the United States. Yes, it is. It's one. It's seriously. I don't know where one begins and one ends. I don't know. And I remember when people were screaming at me because I wouldn't say Israel controls the United States because they don't. The state of Israel does not control the United States. It's this cadre of people that are forming one government with Trump. Yep. And that is the it's part of the Israeli government, but it's not all of it. It's just Likud. It's really just Likud.
Yep.
Thanks for all you do. I was touched by what happened to you and your daughter. Oh, well, thank you. So sorry. This is Free Palestine. We are all Palestine. They are coming for all of us. Thank you so much, Amy or Ami. Amy Joy. Thank you. That really, really means a lot. And I took the tip and taped the flyers I made onto every mirror in the. This is him. He was so awesome. He's the one who thought about the flyer idea. He's so great. It doesn't matter if they refused it. Who cares? You put him on the mirror in the men's room. Everybody who peed saw it, and they're going to be like, "What the hell is that?" You know how many people are probably going to take a picture of it or just take the flyer itself and then go look into it.
Yep.
Dude, thank you so much for doing that. That's so awesome. We have super chats from Rumble, but I don't know how to put them up. We
can't put them up, but we can mention
the producer do it. Thank you for everything for your DDG team. Thank you, Dr. X Bloom. Paul Funny Place is yes, we're on that. DDG Politics on Telegram is more legit than the X because the X is mostly just me and Chris fucking around, and the Telegram is where like the real admin are that are like, we do the news. Me and Chris are like, we're here to piss you all off.
Yes.
I think that's it. But yeah,
now listen, I gotta make a service announcement again because people in the chat have been talking about it all night. My mother is from Greece. My father is from Iran. My dad is Shia Muslim. My mom is Greek Orthodox Christian. My dad is an ethnic Lauren Kurd. So there you go. So everyone's like, is he Greek? Is he Iranian?
Is he Armenian?
Listen, I'm just
the Armenian. Well, I mean, you guys are all the same people. That whole belt is just one the same.
as I grew up, they were like, "You are the dream of Alexander the Great, the union of two great civilizations." There you go. I am the dream. Athens, Sparta, and Persepolis all together.
Rome and the Great Russian Empire.
There we go. Now and here. So there we go.
There
all
we
the great
go.
civilizations of Eurasia.
But yeah, guys, find me if you need anything. Message me, find Chris, message us, ask stuff. This is stuff that we all need to start taking into our own hands. I've had enough, and I'm sick of it. These streamers are definitely not going to save us, and we already know the government. Chris is just brown. Here's Chai.
Yes.
You wish. She's always trying to co-opt everybody. We are Caucasians. We are from the Caucasian belt.
Listen, to CBP and Homeland Security, I'm as brown as they come. I look like,
Yeah, right.
they're like, oh, Taliban,
Baby ISIS, baby ISIS. Okay, well, anyway, we will see you guys. Oh, tell them about Wednesday, because Wednesday's going to be so lit.
Yes. So Wednesday, we have an amazing guest coming on. Spas war correspondent, Andrei Afanasyev is going to come on, and it's going to be lit. We're going to talk about satanic Ukraine. We're going to talk about all the things that are happening in the special military operation. So make sure to be here. We want to see these kinds of numbers and more, because he's going to give you the truth on the ground as he's seen it. He's been at the front, drones flying around him, artillery strikes, you name it. And he's been doing deep investigations into what's going on in the Orthodox Church, what's happening on the ground, this sort of cabal behind the Ukrainian government. You definitely don't want to miss it.
So we will see you guys on Wednesday. Enjoy your Monday and Tuesday, or try. And here is something that I'll end it on a high note with our man, Putin. You guys take care. Find us if you need us. And we will restart the Yahweh to Zion space soon when everybody kind of calms down and stops reeling from the Epstein files, rightfully so. But anyway, take care. And until next time.
В западных элитах очень сильно желание заморозить существующее положение, несправедливое положение вещей в международных делах. Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.